Hello students. So today we are going to discuss lecture number 22, and in this lecture we are going to discuss memory management. In the memory management we are going to discuss logical and physical address space in operating system. So very interesting. First of all we will look what is the memory management actually is, right? So here actually we are going to discuss about the memory management. So memory management is a process of controlling and coordinating computer memory, basically, right? So assigning portions known as a block of various running programs to optimize the overall performance of the system, right? So basically it can controlling and coordinating the computer memory. Actually we are aware about it that if we are going to discuss about the any kind of process wants to execute over there. So in the CPU there is a certain kind of registers is available. So the CPU can easily communicate with the register on the behalf of the same. If suppose we are discuss about the CPU utilizations, CPU can access very close memory as a cache memory, and after that we have a CPU access the main memory, that is the RAM, random access memory, and then after that there is a access memory, that is the basically secondary memory, as well as like certain hard disk or pen drives data over there. So this is the flow of execution in the CPU, right? So it is the most important function of an operating system that manage primary memory. It will process to move back and forward between the pen memory and execution disk. It helps the operating system to keep track of every memory location, irrespective of whether it is allocated to some process or it remains free, right? So this is the whole process where we say that memory management can work over there. So it is very most important functions of the operating system, because each and every performance of the process required what it required certain points that if supposed to be we don't want to store any kind of data, then it is not possible to understand to process which kind of processes it can be executed over there. So from with the help of memory management we can do all the necessary functions over there. So in this topic we cover a lot of topics, subtopics of memory management, as well as what is memory management, what is use of memory management techniques, which kind of techniques we have used to do the same for the memory management, what is the swapping is also very important concept, what is the memory allocation, what is the paging, what is the fragmentation, segmentation is also one of the part of this memory management, what is the dynamic loading, dynamic linking, difference between static and dynamic loading and dynamic linking. So these are the some relevant topics which coordinate with memory management as well as. So first of all we check that why use memory management. Here are the reason for using memory management in the operating system. It allows you to check how much memory needs to be allocated to process, that decide which process should be get memory at what time, right? So on the behalf of memory management, we can allow to check the memory that it can allow to the process, that which kind of process wants to be executed over there. Okay, so tracks whenever inventory gets freed and unallocated according to it, will update the status as well as, right. So it allocates the space to application runtime routine wise, right. So it also makes sure that these applications do not interface with each other, help protect different process from each other, and it places the program in memory so that memory is utilized it is full extent. So these are the certain reasons, that's why we use memory management. So memory management technique, here are some most crucial memory management techniques. Some single contiguous allocation and partial allocation. So in a single contiguous allocation, it is easiest memory management technique. Basically, it is very if supposed to be we talk about the contiguous, non-contiguous as well as, but here there is a single contiguous allocation, right? So in a single contiguous allocation, it is easiest memory management technique. In this method, all types of memory computer's memory except a small portion which is reserved for operating system is available for one application. For example, MS-DOS operating system allocates memory in this way, and embedded system also runs the single operations. So, like an MS-DOS and like an embedded system can use these single contiguous allocations. If we talk about the partial allocation, so it divides primary memory into the various memory partition as well as, which is most contiguous area of memory. Every partition stored all the information for the specific task or job, right? So this method consists of allocating the partition of job when it is started and unallocated when it needs, right? So in the paging and other segmentation, rest of the things we can discuss, that how we can allocate to the memory as well as paged memory management. If we are going to discuss about the paged memory management, then this method divides the computer's main memory into fixed size units known as page frames. This hardware memory management unit maps page into frames which should allocate on the page basis, which can should be allocated what it can allocate it on the page basis, right? So segmented memory management, if we are going to discuss about the segment memory management, so a segment memory is uh, the only memory management method that does not provide the user program with linear and contiguous address as well as. Segment needs hardware support in the form of segment table. It contains the physical address of the section in memory size and other data like access protection bits and status, right? So these are very relevant with memory management as well as, right? So if supposed to be we are going to discuss more about memory management and certain point of things that is very essential. So memory management is a functionality of an operating system which handles or manage primary memory and move process back and forth between main memory and disk during execution. During the execution, what it can do, it can memory manage it is basically the functionality of operating system, right? So which handle what it can handle, it can handle and manage the primary memory, right? So primary memory is nothing but that is the RAM, and moves process back and forth between main memory and disk during the executions, right? So if supposed to be we have a program present in the hard disk and we want to execute, so it can load it on the main memory, that is the RAM. So how they can communicate with each other with the help of memory management. So memory management keeps tracks of each and every memory allocations, right? Regardless of either it is allocated to some process or it is free. It checks how much memory is to be allocated to the process. It decides which process will be get memory at what time, right? So with the help of memory management, it can decide it as well as that which kind of memory which kind of process decide that which process get will memory at what time, right? So it is very essential, very important on the perspective of scheduling as well as it tracks whenever some memory gets freed or unallocated to the correspondingly it updates the status. So this is all about what this is all about the memory management, right? So another things that we have discussed about the memory management in the operating system. So basically, computer memory is basically known as collection of data that is represented in binary format. So main memory refers to physical memory, that is internal memory of the computer basically, right? The word main is used to distinguish it from the external mass storage such as disk drives, right? So main memory is also known as RAM, which we have already discussed. The computer is able to change only data that is in main memory. Therefore, every program we execute and every file we have access be copied from storage devices into the main memory. It can load it on the main memory, right? All the programs are loaded in the main memory for execution. Sometimes the complete program is loaded onto the memory, but sometimes a certain part of the routine of the program is loaded on into the main memory only when it called by the program. This mechanism is called dynamic loading, which enhances the performance as well as. So we can say that also at the time once a program is dependent on some other program. In such a case, rather than loading all the dependent program on CPU links dependent program to the main execution program when required. So this mechanism is known as dynamic linking as well as, which is we already discussed about the certain kind of things that we have discussed in our previous slide. So what is the swapping? Swapping is also a very important concept on the basis of memory management. So swapping is a method in which process should be swapped. Basically, process is swapped temporarily from main memory to backing store. It will be later brought back into the memory for continued execution. Backing storage hard disk or some other secondary storage devices that should be big enough in order to accommodate copies of all the memory images for all the user, basically, right? So this is all about what? This is all about the swapping. So backing storage hard disk or some other secondary storage devices that should be big enough in order to accommodate companies sorry copies of all the memory images for all users. It is also capable of offering direct access to these memory images. So like that, it's supposed to be we have a main memory operating system and main memory user spaces over there, and there is some swap out and swap in. It's supposed to be the secondary storage process P1 is over there, and it want to execute P1, then it can load it on the main memory, and then after that it's certain times if P2 is required to swap, then it can be swap in and swap out over there with the help of main memory and the secondary memory. So this is all about the swapping. So if we are going to discuss about the benefits of swapping. So here are the major benefits of the swapping. It offer a higher degree of multi-programming, right? So it offer what? It can offer higher degree of multi-programming, allows dynamic reallocation. Uh, for example, if address binding at execution time is being used, then process can be swapped in different location. Else, in case of compile and load time bindings, the process should be moved to same location, right? So it helps to get better utilization of memory as well as minimum wastage of CPU time on compilation completion. Also, it can easily be applied to priority based scheduling method to improve its performance. So this is all about what? This is all about the benefits. So what is the memory allocation as well as? So memory allocation is a process by which computer program are assigned memory to or space. What is memory allocation? So memory allocation is a process by which computer program are assigned memory to the space. Here main memory is divided into two types. One is the low memory and other is the high memory, right? So in the low memory, operating system reside in this type of memory, and in high memory, user process they are held in high memory as well as, right? So memory is divided into different blocks or partition. Each process is allocated according to the requirement. Partition allocation is ideal method to avoid internal fragmentation, right? So partition allocation is also very important, play a very important role in the memory management, because with the help of partition allocation we can divide memory is divided into different blocks, right? So partition, basically each process is allocated according to the requirement. We can distribute our process according to their allocations, right? So partition allocates is an ideal method or to avoid internal fragmentation. Below are the various partition allocation schemes like first fit, base fit, worst fit, and next fit. Right. So these are the certain partition allocation segments schemes. Right. So if suppose we are discuss about the first fit. So in this type of fit, the partition is allocated, which is the first sufficient block from beginning of the main memory. In the best fit, so in the best fit, it allocates the process to the partition that is the first smallest partition among the free partition as well as. And the worst fit, then it allocates the process to partition which is largest insufficient freely available partition in main memory. Next fit, if supposed to be we are going to discuss about the next fit. So it is most similar to the first fit, but this fit searches for the first sufficient partition from the last allocation partition, right? So in this regard, we have a relevant topic, that is the paging as well as. Okay, so paging is also play a vital role in memory management as well as. So memory management basically is the process of coordinating and controlling the memory in computer, basically, right? So blocks are assigned, uh, you know, portion that is assigned to various running program in order to optimize the overall performance of system. This technique help in keeping track of each and every memory locations, whether the memory location is allocated to some process or it is free. So this technique decide that which process will get memory at a time, right? So it also keep the count of how much memory can be allocated to the process, as it keeps the track of everything. So whenever some memory gets freed or unallocated, it updates the status correspondingly, right? So need for memory management, it's supposed to be, we are going to discuss about the need of memory management in the operating system. So memory management technique need for some following reasons. This technique help in the placing the program in memory in such a way so that memory is utilized as it is fully extent, right? And many other rest of the things that is very available, very essential for the same to do the same uh, for the paging and all, right? So in this regard, it's supposed to be, we are going to discuss about the paging. So paging is a storage mechanism that allows your operating system to retrieve process from secondary storage into the main memory. Okay, paging basically is the mechanism that allows you to retrieve the process from secondary storage into the main memory in the form of pages. In the paging method, the main memory is divided into small fixed size block of physical memory, which is called frame. The size of frame should be kept the same as part that of page to have maximum utilization of main memory and to avoid external fragmentation, as well as paging is used for faster access so to data and it is logical concept. So this is all about the paging and fragmentation. It's supposed to be, we are discuss about the certain fragmentation. Each and every topic we will describe it in the detailed description in next coming lecture. But today we are just introduced because it is very relevant with our topic. So that is why we can just introduce that topic. So fragmentation is basically the process are stored and removed from memory, which is created free memory space which are too small to use by other process. After sometimes that process not be able to allocate to the memory blocks because it is small in size, and memory blocks always remains unused or called fragmentation. So this type of problem happens during the dynamic memory allocation system when the free blocks are quite small, so it is not able to fulfill any request. Two types of fragmentation methods are external fragmentation and internal fragmentation, right? So in the external fragmentation can be reduced by the rearranging the memory contents to the place all the free memory together in a single block. And internal fragmentation, we can reduce the assigning the smallest portion which is still good enough to carry out the entire process. So this is the solution of the fragmentation as well as. And if supposed to be, we are going to discuss about the segmentation. So basically, fragmentation is a process are loaded and removed from the memory, right? What is it? It is loaded and removed from the memory. So the free memory space is broken into little pieces. It happens after some time. Sometimes that process cannot be allocated to memory blocks. Considering their small size and memory blocks remains unused, this problem is known as fragmentation. So in the external fragmentation, total memory space is enough to satisfy a request or reside a process in it, but is not contiguous as it is it's not to be used in the external fragmentation. But in the internal fragmentation, we say that memory block assigned to process is bigger. Okay, assigned process is bigger. Some portion of the memory is left unused as it cannot be used by the another process. So if supposed to be there is a internal memory is space is available but it is not used, then it is internal fragmentation, and total memory space is enough to satisfy the request or reside the process in it, but is not contiguous, so it cannot be used in the external fragmentation. This is all about the external fragmentation as well as, right? So we are discuss about the paging as well as, and after that we have a certain points about the segmentation. So segmentation is basically the method works almost similar to the paging, right? So the only difference between the two is that segment are variable length, whereas the paging is the method page are always fixed in size, but here there is a variable length, depends upon the variable length. So program segment include the program main function, that data structures, utility functions, etc. The operating system maintain the segment map table for all the process. It also include a list of free memory blocks along with its size, segment, numbers, and memory location in the main memory or virtual memory as well as, right? So if we go with a certain point about the segmentation, so segmentation is a memory management technique, right? In which each job is divided into several segments of different size, right? So we can say that we can divide it basically jobs into the several segments of different size. Each one of the each module that contain pieces that perform related functions. So each segment is actually different logical address space or of the program. When the process is to be executed, its corresponding segmentation are loaded into the non-contiguous memory. Through every segment is loaded into the contiguous block or available memory. So segmentation memory management works very similar to paging, but here segmentation are of variable length, where the paging pages are fixed in size. So program segment contains the program main functions, utility functions, data structure, and so on. So operating system maintains segment map table for every process, left list of the free memory as well as, right? So this is all about the segmentation. And it's supposed to be, we are discuss about the what is the dynamic loading and what is the dynamic linking as well as. So in the dynamic loading concept, it's supposed to be, we are discuss about the dynamic loading. So dynamic loading is a routine of program which is not loaded until the program calls it. All round routines should be contained on disk, until the program calls it. All routines should be contained on disk in the relocatable load format. The main program will be loaded into memory and will be executed. Dynamic loading also provide the better memory space utilization as well as. And if we discuss about the dynamic linking, so linking is the method that help operating system to collect and merge various modules of code and data into the single executable file. The file can be loaded into the memory and executed. Operating system can link system level libraries into the program that combine the libraries at load time. In the dynamic linking method, libraries are linked that at execution time, so program code size can be remain small. So this is all about. And if we go through with the certain difference between static and dynamic loading. So static loading is basically loading which is used when you want to load your program statically. Then at the time of compilation, the entire program will be linked and compiled without need of any external module or program dependency. But in the dynamically loaded program, references will be provided and the loading will be done at the time of execution as well, right? Uh, at the same time, we discuss about the static loading. Then at loading time, the entire program is loaded into memory and start its execution. But in the dynamic loading, routines of library are loaded into memory only when they are required in the program, right? So this is dynamic loading. So difference between static and dynamic linking. So in the static linking, the static linking is used to combine all other modules, right, which are required by a program into single executable code. This helps the operating system prevent any runtime dependency as well as. In the dynamic linking, when dynamic linking is used, it does not need to link the actual module or library with program. Instead of it use references to the dynamic module provided at the time of compilation and linking dynamic. That is all about the dynamic linking. Now we can summarize our memory management. So memory management is a process of controlling and coordinating computer memory management. Assigning portion is called blocks to various running program to optimize the overall performance of the system, and it allows you to check how much memory needs to be allocated to the process that decide which processor should be get memory at that time, at what time, right? So it is all about the memory management. So single contiguous allocation, all the types of computer memory except a small portion which is reserved for the operating system is available for one application, and the partition allocation method divided primary memory into the various memory partitions, which is mostly contiguous areas of the memory. Paged memory management method divide computer main memory into fixed size units known as page frames, right? So this is the summarize of our topic. And if supposed to be we discuss about the segmented memory is the one memory management method that does not provide the user program with a linear and contiguous address space, and swapping is a method in which the process should be swapped temporarily from main memory to the backing store. It will later brought back into the memory for continue execution. So memory allocation is a process by which computer program are assigned memory or space, right? So this is all about the memory. Now we discuss about the memory allocation is a process by which computer program are assigned memory or space. Paging is a storage mechanism that allows OS to retrieve process from secondary storage into the main memory from the pages, right? And it's supposed to be we are going to discuss about the fragmentation. So fragmentation refers the conditions of the disk in which files are divided into pieces scattered around the disk, right? So segmentation method works almost similarly with the paging. The only difference between the two is that segment are the variable length, but whereas in the paging we can allocate it in the fixed size. But in the if suppose we are going to discuss about the dynamic loading is the routine of program which is not loaded until the program calls it. Linking is a method that help OS to collect and merge various module of data, code and data into the single executable file. So this is all about the memory management. And now we are going to discuss about the logical and physical address space in the operating system. So it is, I suppose we discuss about the memory management, then in the memory management, this is the basic whole concept about the memory management, but there is a ideal topic of memory management is all about the logical and physical address actually over there. So in this tutorial we will covering the concept of logical and physical address space as well as in the address that is generated by the CPU is commonly referred to as a logical address. The basically virtual address and the logical address is the basically the address of an instruction of data used by any program, right? So if supposed to be we have a main memory and that is the physical address, and if supposed to be we have a secondary memory, and over the secondary memory, if supposed to be CPU wants to execute or want to work on the secondary memory, then it can create over there. There is certain addresses, and that kind of addresses is nothing but that is the logical or virtual addresses. Okay, set of all logical addresses that are generated by any program is referred to as a logical address space. So if we discuss about the logical address, so logical address is basically logic address space actually. So addresses that is loaded into the memory address register of the memory and commonly referred to be accessed by the user directly, but user can calculate the physical address with the help of logical address as well as. The user program manually generates the logical addresses, and the user thinks that the program is running in this logical address, but the program manually needs physical memory in order to complete its execution. Set of all physical address corresponding to the logical address is commonly known as physical address, right? So a set of all physical address corresponding, what is it can corresponding, it can corresponding all the physical address space as well as, So this is all about what? This is all about the logical and physical address. So in the memory management unit MMU in operating system, it is hardware device that does a runtime mapping from virtual address to the physical address. It is located within the central processing unit as well as. Let us understand the concept of mapping with the help of simple MMU, basically memory management unit scheme, and that is the base register scheme, right? So here you see that if supposed to be there is a logical address which is created for the CPU in the secondary memory, and there is a certain kind of physical address memory over there. Okay, so with the help of reallocation, say CPU can do the same. With the help of register reallocation, it can create another unit to understand both the logical as well as physical address. In the above diagram, the base register is termed as a relocation register. So relocation register is a special register in the CPU, and it is used for mapping of logical address used by the program and to physical address of the system main memory, right? So it is relocation register can do the same. What it can do, it can mapping between logical and physical address space, right? So value in the relocation register is added to every address that is generated by the user process at the time when the address is sent to the memory as well as. So MMU basically memory management unit example, suppose the base is for 14,000, then the attempt of the user to address location is 0 is relocated dynamically to 14,000. So the access to location is 356 is mapped to the 14356, right? So it's supposed to be there is a access location is 356. So and it's supposed to be there is a relocation register generates the memory all about the 14,000. So with the help of addition of logical address, we can easily find out the physical address space in the memory. So it is very easy over there. It is important to note that the user program never exceeds the real physical address. The program can create pointer to location 356 and store it into the memory and then manipulate it. After that, compare it with other address as a number 356. User program always deals with logical addresses. The memory mapping unit. Memory mapping unit mainly converts the logical address into the physical address. The final location of the referred memory address is not determined until the reference is made. There are two types of addresses that have the logical addresses lies in the range of 0 to maximum, and physical addresses lies the range of r plus 0 to r plus maximum for the base value to the r, right? So as we have told you about the user generate only the logical address and then think that the process run in the location from 0 to maximum, then however these logical address must be mapped to the physical address. Therefore before they are used, so difference between logical and physical address, let us know how cover the difference between the logical address and the physical address in the operating system. So if we discuss about the logical address, so logical address basically user can access logical address of the program, right? And in the physical address, user can never access the physical address of the program, right? So if we have a multiple line of a code like 10 to 15 code, then we only access with the help of logical address, not a physical address. Logical address is generated by CPU, right? So but physical address is located in the main memory unit or main memory. So user can access the physical address with the help of logical address. User can easily access physical address with the help of what? With the help of logical address, right? So a physical address can be accessed by user indirectly, but not directly, right? So logical address does not exist physically in the memory and termed as a virtual address. On the other hand, physical address is a location in the memory, so thus it can be accessed physically. Set of all logical addresses that are generated by any program is referred to as logical address space. The set of physical address corresponding to the logical address is commonly known as physical address space. This address is generated by CPU, computed by the memory management as well as. So these are the certain difference between both of them. Now we move on the MCQs. So CPU fetch the instruction basically. CPU fetch the instruction from memory according to the value of program counter status register instruction register program status. So A is the right answer, program counter. With the help of program counter, we can say that CPU fetch the instruction from memory according to the value of the program counter. Okay, so memory buffer used to accommodate a speed differential is called dash. Stack pointer, cache, accumulator, disk buffer. So B is the right answer, cache. Okay, so a memory buffer used to accommodate a speed differential is called cache. Which one of the following is the address generated by CPU? Physical address, absolute address, logical address, and none of them mentioned. So here C is the right answer. The which we have already discussed. There is a logical address. Runtime mapping from virtual to physical address is done with the help of memory management unit, CPU, PCI. None of the above. So A is the right answer. Memory management unit. So memory management technique in which system store and retrieve data from secondary storage for use in main memory is called fragmentation, paging, mapping. So B is the right answer. There is a paging. Address of page table in the memory is pointed. Address of page table in the memory is pointed. Stack pointer, page table base register, page register, program counter. So B is the right answer. Page table base register. Program always deals with what? Logical address, absolute address, physical and relative. So A is the right answer. Program always deals with the logical address. Right. So the page table contains this base address of each page in the physical memory, base, page offset, page size. A is the right answer. That is the base address of each page in the physical memory. Uh, so what is compaction? So a technique basically C is the right answer. A technique for overcoming external fragmentation. Operating system maintain the page table for dash. Each process, each thread, each instruction, each address. So A is the right answer. Operating system maintain the page table for each process. So this is all about basically it's all about the memory management and in the memory management we are going to discuss about the logical and physical address as well as. Hope you are understand about the concept of memory management as well as. So we can revise if we can revise our topic with the point by point. So in the memory management is basically the process of controlling and coordinating computer's memory. So which we have already know about and we have discussed about that. If suppose we have a say, CPU over there, and the CPU can directly access the certain kind of register. Register is available with the CPU, right? So, but at that time we are aware about that CPU, can easily access the register, but the size of the register is very small. So as the size, according to the size, it can access as well as another memory, that is the cache memory. So it's supposed to be cache is also fastest memory over there, but there is a certain limitation. So it means that there is a cache, the size of the cache is very limited, because each and every process, if you want to execute, it's supposed to be likely you want to execute a process P1 or P2 again and again, so you can put it on the cache memory, then it can be easily executed over there. But by the way, it's supposed to be your program is loaded, then it can be loaded over the main memory. So we must require the certain kind of main memory like RAM. And if supposed to be we discuss about the main memory and our program is loaded over there, so if supposed to be size of the program is too high, then it also communicate with the secondary memory, right? So how we can manage all those things? So with the help of memory management we can do the same, right? So what is it? It is the process of controlling and coordinating computer memory, assigning portions known as blocks to various running program to optimize the overall performance of the system as well as. It is most important function of the operating system that manage primary memory. It helps process to move back and forward between the main memory and execution disk It helps operating system to keep track of every memory location irrespective of whether it is allocated to some process or it remains free. So this is the topics that we have already covered. So why we use memory management? Here are the reason for using memory management over there. What is the reason? That it allocate you to check how much memory it needs to be allocated to the process, that decide which process should get memory at what time, as well as, and memory management technique we have discussed about single contiguous allocation, partition allocation, page memory management, as well as with the help of we are discuss about the segment memory management, as well as, and what is swiping. Swiping is basically a concept about the method in which the process should be swept temporarily from main memory to the backing store. It will later brought back into the memory for continue execution. Backing store is a hard disk or some other secondary storage devices that should be big enough to in order to accommodate copies of all, right? So here there is a swipe in and swipe out with certain point of things that we have done in the main memory and the secondary memory, as well as, right? So benefits of swiping, if we are going to discuss about the benefits, then here the major benefits about the swiping is it offers the higher degree of multi-programming, as well as it allows dynamic relocation. For example, if we address binding at execution time is being used, then process can be swept in different location, as well as, right? So what is the memory allocation, as well as? So memory allocation is a process by which computer program is assigned. Okay, so low in this memory allocation we have discussed low and high memory, as well as. So partition allocation, we have discussed first fit, best fit, worst fit, and next fit. So with the help of all the parameters, all the components, partitions allocation is to be allocated. So what is the paging? So paging is a storage mechanism. Basically paging, what is the paging? Paging is a storage mechanism that allows operating system to retrieve process from secondary storage into the main memory in the form of pages. The method main memory is divided into small fixed size of blocks of the physical memory. So fragmentation basically is a process or a process stored and removed from the memory, which creates a free memory space. So which is too small to use by other process. After some times that process not able to allocate to the memory blocks because it is small in size, memory blocks always remains unused is called fragmentation, as well as, right? So there is two types. One is the external fragmentation and internal fragmentation. So if we are going to discuss about the external fragmentation, then we can say that it can be reduced by rearranging memory as well as content to place all the free memory together in the single block. It's supposed to be in the internal fragmentation can be reduced by assigning the smallest portion, which is still good enough to carry the entire process, as well as segmentation method. What is the segmentation method? So segmentation method works almost similar to the paging, as well as program segment include the program main function, data structure, and all. So what is the dynamic loading? Dynamic loading is a routine of program which is not loaded until the program calls, right? So if after that we have discussed about the difference between static and dynamic loading, as well as. So in the static loading, we discuss about that static loading is used when we want to load your program statically. But in the dynamic case, we have used for the time at the time of execution, as well as. Different. We are in already we have done the difference between static and dynamic linking. So in the static linking is used to combine all other modules which are required by program into the single executable code. Okay, but in the dynamic linking, when dynamic linking is used, it does not need to link the actual module or library with the program. Instead of it is used, right? So we have already discussed the summary of the same, and then after that we have discussed about the logical address and physical address. So in the logical address, we discuss about that it can created with the CPU, but in the physical address it can created with the main memory, as well as. Okay, so these are the certain very important points about the physical address, as well as in the logical address. So here there is a CPU logical address is all about the 356. So reallocation register create another unit. So with the help of reallocation register plus logical address, we can find out the physical address as well. As with the help of all those things, we can cover all. So thank you very much for your patience.